Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for getting together with us in the master class. This is going to be module 2, and we're going to talk about advanced prospecting. I see a bunch of familiar names and faces here. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. It's me and Val Duvall tonight.
Hey guys.
Gonna do this with you. Cedric Gaines, what's happening? Good to see you.
I want to blow up the question box here so I can make sure I see what it's saying tonight.
I see old car dogs on here too. One of my car buddies. That's good.
Oh, hi James. I see you there hiding out. And Paul and Jim and Roger.
Yep.
And Michael's popping in. Hey, Michael wants to know, Sid, if you left any money in Vegas. I heard you did very well in Vegas.
You know, we'll just say what happens in Vegas stays there. Let's just say I had a great time.
You promised to share. Oh. All right.
I brought home a custom Les Paul first class, so I had a little bit left over. And I got a $500 money clip that I put $400 in. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, he did share, did he, Paul?
Some of you got some candid stuff. Maybe Paul or James.
All right, let's get started.
Absolutely.
What we're going to do today is just talk about some ways that you guys can go out and get clients. And, you know, some of these things are going to be particular to lead driver, but some of the things you can use for any kind of lead driving that you want to do. So I think you'll find some of it pretty interesting.
Hey, one thing I want to just go ahead and mention that's pretty impressive and is exciting and helps us all is, I mean, how cool is it seeing somebody land something every day, posting it in the group? Seeing people being successful with it already. I mean, 48 hours in, we had our first person.
Yeah.
Close the deal.
And I hope you guys are all in the Facebook group because it's just really, really amazing. Hey, Annette. Good to see you. All right, let's get started. All right. I think, you know, the key to finding prospects is for lead driver and a lot of different kind of lead when you're selling leads is to find companies that are already buying leads. It's really just, you know, the easiest way. Don't you agree, Sid?
Yes.
Yeah,
can you hear my dog panting?
I can't.
All right, just making sure because he's over here making all kinds of noises.
And the great thing is that not only are they the easiest people to market to when you're selling leads, but they're also the easiest to find. You can do searches on Google Ads, you can look through Service Magic, and we're going to show you some inside tricks there in a couple of seconds. Now, people that are out spending money on AdWords, they're right there for everybody to see. So all you've got to do is do a search on your niche. Say you want plumbers, which is, I did this search here, and you can see in that pink box. I know a lot of you probably know this, but I'm surprised every once in a while to find out sometimes people don't think about this, so we want to make sure that everybody keeps all the stuff in mind. So you can just go in and see the ad boxes either at the top of the page or on the side, and they're highlighted in pink, and you can see here we've got Roto-Rooter. Now that's a company, so that's a valid prospect right there. Below that is Restoration Local. Now, I'm pretty sure, I didn't go to that site and look, but I'm pretty sure that that is a lead site itself. There's a lot of lead gen sites that advertise on AdWords as well, so you want to just leave those behind and concentrate on the actual companies that are advertising on AdWords. And how you can have a leg up on these people that are advertising on AdWords is you know that you can beat them. It's very expensive sometimes to advertise on Google AdWords. So you shouldn't have any trouble once you get in front of business owners to convince them that you've got something that's going to help them save money. And the second source that we really like for lead driver is Home Advisors, which used to be called Service Magic, which hopefully everybody knows that. But again, the advantages that you have there is that Home Advisors is expensive. Leads are sold several times, and contractors know this, and they're really kind of pissed off about it, but most of them don't know any other sources. They don't know that you have the ability to get them leads for less than what they're getting at Home Advisors. So you've got a leg up there. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing because I think, Sid, back, I don't know, when did we meet? I think it was about 8 months ago or so.
When we met up and went out ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, and Sid had done a call for my group on prospecting and cold calling. And he went over some really interesting statistics that he's going to talk to you about now, about how to set yourself apart in the marketplace by having several contact points. So take it away.
You can have a couple of contact points, but the main thing that'll put you in the top percentile of closers or salespeople is follow up. And you know, does anybody know when the average person closes on what follow up the average client actually decides to purchase?
We've got 5, 18, 7, 7, minimum 5, some more 7s.
The research that I've read is over 80% closes between 5 and number 12 follow-ups. That means calling them, emailing them, maybe, you know, going in and, you know, seeing them. A lot of times it takes follow-up, so don't talk to somebody once and forget about them. When people go to these trade shows and swap business cards, do you know how many of those are ever followed up? 2%.
That's insane.
So even if you're not the best salesperson in the world, even if you're not the best closer or the wittiest person or blah blah blah, whatever it takes for you to, you know, to close a deal, if you just do proper follow-up, you're going to put yourself in the front running of salespeople.
And it's not that hard to do.
No, it's pretty cool to do. Here's the secret to follow-up. Every time you talk to somebody, always be setting up your next appointment. So if you leave if you leave a proposal, you let them know. Say, I'll be back Tuesday, and I'll pick that up, and we'll after you get that signed. You're already setting up Tuesday. You're going to come back in there. It's when you leave the proposal and go, okay, well, just call me, and you give them the control that you lose out. But to cold call or follow up, you can use direct mail. A lot of you know the Savage Siphon. It would work great with this. We're seeing a lot of people have a quick, fast success even with email. There's also one other place. There's one other place that I'm curious if anybody thought of to land a deal. Where else can you advertise to land a deal? Let's get some guesses. Not cold calls, not direct mail, not email. What else can you do? There you go, Mike.
Oh, there we go. Some people got it.
Craigslist.
Actually, there's a couple of really good suggestions here. LinkedIn, trade shows, Facebook, pay-per-click, BNI. BNI is awesome.
Chamber of
Especially when you're selling leads, because to get in front of a person is awesome. Social media. But most people said the answer I think you're getting at, right, Sid?
Right. Craigslist. You know, it's also a place you can go and look and find, you know, other services. Just call them and ask them, hey, what are you paying for those leads? You need to know your market and what you're selling up against anyway, and knowledge is power. Finding out what they pay in a certain market for certain niches is good information to know.
Rob Scott seems to think dropping flyers from a plane is good.
Works every time.
Jim, and I want to know if Jim is serious about finding women on Craigslist.
I think everybody, that was the #1 place they went to, and then everybody started going to Backpage. But if you noticed, but did you know we also got emailed from a manager at Backpage saying that if we wanted to upload car inventory, they were giving us some kind of special deal, so they're going right behind Craigslist trying to capitalize on any changes they're making. So
that's, yeah. And Adrian makes a good point too. In Canada, yeah, it's Kijiji.
Yeah.
So do you know anybody that's outsourcing on Kijiji? I don't know if Nick does.
I don't, and it's pretty amazing. Kijiji definitely dominates up there in Canada. It's ugly platform. I mean, it's not cool. You know what I mean? It's not
Now, I'm
It's
not
not even,
familiar with it at all.
well, from what I understand, it's owned by Microsoft. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
and I think Nick can actually do it on Kijiji, but you got to talk to him because I know they charge certain prices and whatnot, and I don't know. I would talk to Nick about that. I've not experienced anything with Kijiji. What I've experienced success with, and I was telling people in coaching and whatnot, 8 months ago, is roofing. I mean, I personally watched a roofer light it up, and when he told me, he said, "Sid, I wouldn't be in business without this," I knew it was a good thing. So I immediately hooked up a painter. I've got a painter that's on it. I do have a paintless dent removal guy that was on it for a short time, and he got covered up fast. Couldn't handle it. And we had 2 mobile mechanics back when Nick and I was flipping cars on Craigslist. We had 2 mobile mechanics we would post ads for also, and we kept them extremely busy on there. It was hard getting paid from one of them, but that's the person, not the.
Well, I got my start in, I kind of just fell into the whole offline marketing thing because my husband's a contractor. And the first place I ever advertised for him was on Craigslist.
Right.
We did handyman services, roofing services, and general contracting, and it was great. And then I, got bombarded by all the yellow page people and everything else, and all those things sucked, I have to be perfectly honest. And I even did Service Magic for him. It was horrible. We threw a lot of money away. The only thing that worked well for us was Craigslist. I mean, I'm not saying we didn't get leads from the other places. It just, they were a lot more work and they cost a lot more money.
And the roofer that we have on that we're posting ads for, he originally was dealing with Service Magic or one of those companies, and literally he was like, "You mean I don't have to do this?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude." He was like, it was like a proud day for him when he fired him. So,
oh, this is interesting.
The roofing leads. I'm thinking they're getting he's getting about 2 leads a day, up to 4 on some good days. I've seen 4 and 5 a day, but he sells about 2 or 3 roofs a week, and I think the majority of them come from Craigslist. I mean, maybe he's getting some referrals, but I don't know.
I want to read that post for everybody because it's just confirming that businesses out there need these leads. Sid, how many roofs? This is from Jim McFadden. Sid, how many roofs did he sell? Oh, there goes the question. It just scrolled right on by. All right, you guys, stop it.
You can attach it. See the button next to the X? Press that. Press that.
Okay. Sid, how many roofs did he sell? I've got a huge lead. I just signed up off my first batch of emails. Just sent an email and said, if this goes well, we have 15 other states for you to handle. Let's see what you've got. To me, that's like so exciting, It just proves that if you get out there and put yourself out there, it's going to work. Yep. Congratulations, Jim.
And Jim, were you using a scraper to get the emails, or what did you do to get your emails? Lead Kahuna. All right. Nice.
Oh, David Sprague's Lead Kahuna. Awesome lead, Jen. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next slide. Now,
Larry asked if the roofer's home to answer the phone. We roll it to his cell phone. Here in Georgia, we've all upgraded, and most of us have cell phones. In fact, I even heard that Atlanta is the cell phone capital of the world. There's more cell phones in Atlanta than anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah.
That just strikes me as being odd.
Isn't it?
Okay, let's talk about where to get leads. We mentioned lead scrapers, which are great. I know they do cost money though, so some people are looking for ways to get out there and get some leads without having to spend any money. And as great as it is, Home Advisors leaves that wide open for us. And I want to, Sid, do you know how I can go to my screen from here? I want to leave the slide.
Yeah, you just shrink it down though. You just shrink it down and go to your window and put it up. They'll just be watching your screen.
Okay.
So you need to close all those meetings.
Can you see it?
There you go. We're looking at it.
Okay. Now, one way you can do this is you can see the search that I've got going on up here. It's homeadvisors.com, except that I can't. This is in the way. Okay, there we go. And then I put in plumber, and I put in Atlanta, and then I did the search. and came down here and then went into Home Advisors. And magically, Home Advisors is nice enough to make it public who's buying leads from them. Now, unfortunately, they don't have the emails there. But what you do have is phone numbers. So if you want to do cold calling, you can do that. But you have plenty of information here to go out and find the emails. But even better, I'm going to go back to the slides for just a second. Even better, here is a URL for you. And I'm going to go ahead and go to that URL. Oops, I don't want to go to that slide. Sorry. Now I can't get it to go back. Sorry about that. As you can see, I'm a tech unwizard. So here is the, up here is the URL that I showed you guys before. So it's just homeadvisors/c.html. And lo and behold, there is a whole directory right here with zip codes, type of service, whatever it is that you need. I'm going to put in my zip code. And search. And there you are again. Much simpler. And you've got every bit of information that you're going to need to start putting together a list if you want to do this without the scraper. Plus, you know, Dave's scraper is great, but these people are people that you already know are buying leads from Home Advisors. So you really cannot get, you just can't get a hotter lead. And that's just the bottom line. I have to go back one slide because we went ahead too much. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the nitty-gritty of emails here. What we have is a guy in our group, Sloan Smith, who has been really killing it. He's been posting a bunch in the room, right, Sid?
Yes.
And he's been having a lot of luck sending out this very, very simple email, and he has told us all we can go ahead and just copy it. So if you want to get, you know, your leads together and send out this letter, feel free. And I'm going to go ahead and post it. I'm pretty sure it's posted in the main room, but I'll go ahead and post a copy of it in the master group as well. But as you can see, got the headline here, which says, I have 10 leads, do you need them? I can't see why a business would not open that email, because what business does not need leads? And there was a discussion a week ago or so that people were wondering, well, how can I say I have 10 leads if I don't? And I don't think this is really misleading, because you can easily get those 10 leads for them. So it's not like you're saying that they have to buy these exact leads that you've set aside for them. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, because they're just going to be happy to hear what you've got to tell them. So anyway, this email says, hey, you know, company name, I'm a local Middle Tennessee marketing company that sends qualified leads to heating and cooling businesses like yourself. And the key here is this next line. If you're doing Google AdWords, my leads tend to be 99% cheaper. My leads tend to be cheaper 99% of the time. That's going to be the grabber right there, because they're going to want to save money. If they're advertising on Google, they know how expensive it is, so they're going to be, their ears are going to be perked up to know about how they can get cheaper leads. And it says you only pay for calls that come in about roofing and not telemarketing calls, which is also key, because on Google AdWords, when you place an ad, just like I showed you earlier, where you can go and get those leads, well, everybody else is doing the same thing. So they're making the mistake of calling these people up and trying to really get their Google AdWords business. So that's a big mistake. But anyway, then I'll also record your calls so that you can see how well your staff is speaking on the phone to potential sales. I can have your calls coming in as soon as next week. Are you interested? So you've set the value proposition there. You've told them how you're going to make leads cheaper. You've told them how they're not going to have to pay for worthless leads, which they are doing right now, I guarantee. And you've also given them another value-added service. You're going to tell them that you're going to record calls for them so that they can see how well their staff is doing, which is something that a lot of people don't do. And right there, you can be able to save them money and help their business. So I think that's why this email is so darn effective.
Now that email is also the one that Jim used to land his client.
Oh, perfect. There you go. More proof right there. Now, it's easy to adapt this that's for Google AdWords, but it's really easy to adapt this to what we were talking about before with the home advisor contacts. I would just add a line like, and Jim, maybe you can give us some insight on what you did, but I would just add a line like, if you're using home advisors, I'll beat their pricing by 100%. I'll beat their pricing 100% of the time. Because you can find out how much a lead costs on home advisors and just offer them $5 cheaper. So if a lead is $40, you can sell it to them for $35 and still make a really, really great profit. Then another thing that I would emphasize in a letter like this, if you're going to contact home advisor customers, is that you're going to sell their lead only one time. When I was getting leads from my husband, I was the one that answered the phone for him. So I dealt with this. And it was so frustrating to get these calls and then try and call back the customers. I would say out of 10 calls, maybe one call, I'd be the first person to contact this guy. And 3 or 4 times, people would hang up on you and tell you, stop calling me. Like they were just annoyed that they were getting so many calls. So it sucks, honestly. So I think if you put that line in there, it's going to attract some customers. So as I was speaking, I wasn't looking at the questions. Okay, what Jim said. Jim says, I just tweeted a bit emphasizing the training feature of phone recording, and he loved it. I told him it doesn't matter if you get 100 calls if you have a terrible phone person. All the blue-collar guys are not as tech-savvy. They want to do business with people they like.
Yep.
Great advice.
Jim asked, where does he find replays for these calls?
Oh, there's a section in the lead driver members area that's just for the master class. So it will be called master class, and when you signed up, you were added to that. So if you have a problem, just go to support, and maybe for some reason that you didn't get added. I'm not sure. Have you tried and not been able to get back there?
What was the homeadvisors.com? I mean, is that the?
Oh, you want me to go back to
the?
Let me go back to the URL. There we go. It's homeadvisors.com/c.html.
There you go. You can check it out there.
It's really kind of I was surprised to learn that there's a way that you can find their customers.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool for us.
We're working with somebody who's got something that's pretty cool though, that actually goes out and figures that out and has some of the other information that we're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll tell everybody about it sooner or later.
Now, if you guys are sending out emails, one thing you might want to watch is whether or not your emails are actually getting opened. There is a company called SpyPig that I used to use that worked quite well when I was using email that wasn't in my autoresponder. I mean, now I use GetResponse and Aweber and that kind of thing, so I can tell basically who's opened my emails. But if you don't use one of those services, you kind of want to know who's out there opening your emails so that you know when you talk to them, or you can either email them again and say, hey, you know, I contacted you before, or if they never opened it, you know that you can send the same email again, maybe with a different subject line or whatever. But spypig.com was a service I used to use, but when I went to go research to see if it was still viable for you guys, the site's not working, so I'm not sure if it's still a great service or not. So I saw this one, and in all fair disclosure, I have not used this, but I just thought it looked like a good service, and it had some pretty high ratings out there, so you might want to go ahead and try that.
Now,
because really
does that work with
it's
Gmail or Yahoo or anybody, or?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see right here on the screen, it's like Microsoft Outlook on Windows operating system, Thunderbird on Windows operating system, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, Windows, Mac users, all others. So it's a pretty nifty service. So, I mean, that's formal. That's all I had, like, formally. So I think maybe, Sid, if we want to go back and maybe talk about cold calling or whatever anybody wants to talk about. I know we said that in the sales page that we were going to have a question and answer period so that people can really get to things that they want to know about.
I just want to know what questions people have right now. I mean, is there any
Right.
reason, or is there anything that somebody's doing that you're not already taking taking action on this? Anybody held up for any reason? Somebody said, what service are you using to do the digging? Some people said Reputation Kahuna. One person said it only comes up with about 30% of the emails, but I mean, it's out there scraping at the time, so.
Yeah. You know, sometimes, because I believe I've used Kahuna products too and other scrapers, and they're good because if you want to send out tons and tons and tons of emails, they're great. But honestly, sometimes the best way is just to go out and do the work yourself. But let's see, what about other more affordable scrapers? Bill, like Sid mentioned, there is one scraper that we're talking with the developer about, trying to figure out the best way to get it for you guys. So we don't have it for you just yet, but we should. Let's see. Oh, questions are scrolling so fast now.
I'm answering some. All right, so all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about sales. Does anybody want to does anybody want to do some does anybody want to role play? We can role play on some sales stuff, or we can or I can just kind of tell you what I would say. You know, obviously the first thing you need to do is say, you know, you need to find out if somebody is getting enough leads. If they're not, you want to find out what their pain is. Once you figure out what their pain is, then you can give them a solution. The first pain you want them to hear about is to say they're not getting enough leads. You know, so I would start out right out of the hole. Are you getting all the leads that you can handle? Because anybody that needs leads is going to immediately say, well, no, not really. And I think a lot of people are going to say that. You know what I mean?
No, not really.
No, they're going to say, I'm not getting enough leads. I mean, leads are gold.
Right.
Who do you know that's getting too many leads?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever asked a business owner if they have enough business and they've said yes, ever. Even if they're busy, people find a way to bring on more business if it's there.
And I think it's cool to close them at, you know, a certain price per lead at a certain seconds or something. I personally have not. Maybe I could have made a lot more money if I would have done it that way. But I just closed everybody at flat rates. I always mentioned that, you know, I could have, you know, done it, you know, I can do it at $20 a lead, but just do the, you know, I think we're charging $450, $550. I have to charge $550 to my painter, but $350 to one guy. I was like, that way they know when they're getting, you know, 4 and 5 leads a day, they're stealing it. You know, they're getting a better deal.
Let's see. Now here's somebody who wants to go a little bit more into cold calling.
Hey Jim, he's asking what I charged. I charged $350 to the first guy that we were doing the mobile mechanic, and then the next guy I hit at $450, which was the roofer, and then the painter I hit at $550. I kept going up just to see kind of what the threshold was, but I've not closed anybody more than $550 yet. The mobile dent guy, well, the mobile dent guy, the paintless dent removal is what it's called. I closed him at 400. He didn't want to spend as much money. And I think per lead pricing is cool. I'm just telling you that I've not done it. I don't have experience with it. I think honestly the per lead pricing is probably how you could really start knocking the cover off the ball with some of these guys, especially in like some seasonal business. You know, I know during the summer, Kurt was getting 6-8 calls a day sometimes for roofing. So, all right, let me. Kelly said, "Can you go over the response for a roofer who wants some proof or testimonials from other satisfied roofers to show how it works?" I don't know. I guess you get sucked into. Everybody gets sucked into that every time. I've never had that problem. I don't know. I've never had somebody start like just raking me over the coals about who's this worked with, give me proof, give me numbers. You know, if they don't want the lead.
It's a confidence thing, though. I mean, you walk in from a position of confidence, and not everybody feels that way. So I think they can smell it coming.
Right.
I mean, don't you think, Sid, that's a lot of practice to get that confidence?
I mean, maybe it is practice or just knowing for sure that it's going to work. It was $400 a month, John, is what I charged the mobile dent guy.
So you're saying, you know, believing in your product and believing that you're going to add value to their business when you walk in their doors.
Yeah, and you know what? If somebody really just puts you under the gun on a reference, you know, offer them this. Say, hey, how about this? How about I give you the first 15 leads free, or the first 5 leads for free? If you like it, we start charging. If you don't like it, we can cut it off.
Just getting back to something there.
So he said, Sid, your roofer, $400 a month. If you sell him 8 roofs, he made almost 20 grand. You're right.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I have to chase him every month for the damn money. You know, whatever. It is what it is.
Yvonne asked a question. Is it better to get leads first and then send a whisper, or get the client first? I think the idea of sending out a whisper is to get on their radar, so that, you know, you can send them a few free leads and whisper will tell them that they got these leads. And then you can call them back and say, hey, I've been sending you some leads. Do you want more?
Yeah, very good.
I'm not, and Keith Shaper says Chad Wyatt has a decent scraper. I'm not familiar with that scraper. I don't know exactly what it scrapes, but there's so many scrapers out there. The one we're working on is really targeted towards the Craigslist type of leads, so it'll be pretty cool once we have it ready. I need to know the pricing for mobile mechanic in Atlanta. How to bill them, weekly, monthly, flat fee. I have never worked with mobile mechanics, but I think you did, right, Sid?
Yeah, that was very popular. And it was funny because like at the beginning, the guy wanted all the leads in Atlanta. He was doing really good with it, and then all of a sudden he wanted us just giving him leads in the you know, in the Northeast, like in Gwinnett County. And then he was like, man, yeah, is there any way you can advertise just in Buford?
Too many leads. That's a problem.
Brian is doing pay-per-call on some of them. Yep. It's just, I mean, that was the way I personally did it. And when we used to, you know, post on, we would post on Craigslist to sell cars. And it was Nick Klimek, the guy that's the outsourcer. That was the guy that posted all my car ads. And honestly, when I quit using Nick, I sold half as many cars. I don't know what he does. He like loves it. He's sick, but you know, the guy just posts good ads, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Okay, Biggie brings up a point. I don't want to post myself. I want Nick to post for me. But that means I need to have a guaranteed minimum income of $200 to cover his costs. I'm not in a position to lose that money right now. Then I'm thinking I need to a guaranteed winner that Nick probably already have his niche location covered.
Yeah,
You know,
I wouldn't worry like that. It's not.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you go on, Sid.
Yeah, that's not that. I've heard a lot of people say that. I feel like Nick's going to already be doing well in that town. He's first off, he won't take any niche. He won't take any niche that that's already being done in that town anyway. But there's a couple people that we can actually get you to deal with. You'll be fine. But to cover the 189, you're going to get it covered. Don't even sweat that part. And you need to call and talk to Nick. If you have a niche in a client that you think you can close in a certain area, just call him and talk to him. If he knows he can produce a lot of leads for you, I'm sure you could. He don't pass on deals. Let's just say that.
I mean, that was going to be my suggestion. He's opened himself up to talk to whoever needs help. So if you are serious about his services, then like Sid said, I would start the conversation with him. I mean, he might even be willing to talk to you about maybe if you have a certain niche you want to go into, but he already covers that town, maybe he'll say, hey, why don't you try this one? Nobody's advertising there yet. You don't have to stick to your local area.
James Blessings, who I know also did some mobile mechanic stuff, he was like, man, they're going to be overwhelmed. It just produces a ton of freaking leads. There's just a lot of people that are stuck, it's a lot of starters, break jobs, I don't know, old people. So.
Like those good emergency niches, right?
Yeah,
you gotta have.
I gotta have it right now, and I'm broke.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about roofing is, your insurance actually covers it. So, anyway, so let's talk. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let's talk about sales. Somebody wants to. I mean, maybe get on and we can role play if you want. I know we're gonna do that on the next call, weren't we? Or no? Val?
I'm not sure on the next call. It might have been the call after that, but
okay.
I think you can't ever get enough of that. Kelly has just raised, I'm going to say her, but if you're a guy, Kelly, I'm sorry. But we have a person who wants to do role playing.
Well, let's do it. Kelly, all right, you ready?
And Mike wants to do role playing now.
I learned the most out of role playing. So
yeah, oh no, it's awesome. I think
you learn what to do and what not to do, and you might who knows? Sid might just say something he wasn't supposed to. Let's see what happens. All right, Kelly, hold on a second. We're about to make you go live. I'll give you a minute. All right, Mike, I'm gonna let you go live real quick. Mike Johnson.
Hi, Sid.
Mikey, what's happening, buddy?
Oh, it's going pretty well there, Sid.
Nice.
Got my first couple of auto dealerships to go talk to next week.
Very cool, man. Where are you calling from?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. That's a cool town. Man, it seems like everyone knows moving up that way.
I love Phoenix.
Well, the high today was 73.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
Everybody here was wearing a jacket because they thought it was cold.
It got 46. We thought we were. We thought it was summer.
I'm in New York and it's miserable.
Yeah, Val even lost her internet for a while today. So. Still
don't have it. I'm still on my hotspot. This whole call is probably costing me $200.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Mike. So obviously, if somebody has a is calling back on a lead, then it's going to be a different type of call. But let's say you're calling in only to talk to people. Now, a lot of people have heard me say when I'm calling into dealerships and stuff, because that's what I do. Everybody thinks it's funny, but when they say, what are you calling for, I tell them to give everybody a raise. The reason why I say that, though, is it's a benefit. You don't want to give people a feature, because a feature starts giving somebody the reason to, like, I don't know, like cancel you out or block you from talking to the decision maker, right? So you always want to give somebody a feature, right? Or a benefit, excuse me. You want to give somebody a benefit, not a feature, right? So some people are like, what do you call for? Well, I post these leads, and you try and go into it and people just like glaze over. You need to immediately give them something that they're like, holy crap, I need that. I could use that. Put them through, right? So that's why I say I give everybody in here a raise, because I'm going to bring you additional business that's gonna in turn make your boss pay you more money, right? So in calling in, if you're going past the gatekeeper and you don't know the person's name, make sure that you give them a benefit, okay? Very good.
That's right.
All right. Secondly, always remember to ask more questions in speaking. Closers aren't the talkers. Closers are the listeners. All right. All right. So let's practice it. All right. I'm calling in. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Good. Hey, I know you're busy. I am too. If you're asking if I just cold called you, I did, but I've got a reason to speak to you. I've got one word that you're going to love to listen to. You ready?
Okay.
Leads. You got enough?
Of course not.
Well, very cool. Are you currently buying leads from anywhere else?
No, I'm not, sir.
Could you use some more leads for your business?
Yes, because right now I'm trying to do it all myself with social media and with email marketing, and it's just not working out that well.
Okay. How many leads a day do you think you could handle?
4 or 5.
What exactly are you selling, Mike?
I'm selling internet marketing.
Okay. And just so I can better serve you, let me get some numbers real quick. What do you sell internet marketing for?
I sell internet marketing to contractors and to home service companies.
And what is it worth to you for these guys to call you and if you close the deal?
Oh, I'd say my average client is giving me about $400 a month right now.
Okay. And how much of that 400 is it worth to spend to get an additional one?
That's a loaded question.
Sure it is. If you could spend $40 and I could give you $400 bills, would you do it?
I'll trade you 220s for 400s anytime, yeah.
There you go. Okay. Well, assuming that every lead you could close, that would be a good price, wouldn't it?
Yep.
You know, it's asking questions and moving forward. So, Mike,
well, I'll tell you what though.
Buddy.
Don't you have to close an awfully high ratio to justify that price?
Which price?
$40 a lead.
I mean, think about it. I mean, if they're making $400 profits, maybe. I mean, you know, I would assume. I would probably, you know, I would think 10% of what I don't know. That's some data that we need to figure out. Like, is 10% what it's worth? You know, if you can close $400 deals, would they pay $40?
Because right now, Sid, I'm closing about 1 out of 10.
Oh,
so
on your actual
$40 is break even.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But these are monthly clients to you, so you need to look at it. Well, now I broke in. I mean, we already had broke out of the call, so I'm not really interrupting. But you need, and this is something you bring up with your client, is that they need to think of the lifetime value of a customer, not just that initial $400 month. Because next month, that money's all yours.
Yep.
Yes, but I'm trying to talk you into a lower price.
That ain't gonna work. You can't sell your service cheaper. You're worth more. Do you want to reverse the role and have? And
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sid, do it the other way around.
Okay. Wow.
Hi, may I speak with Sid, please?
This is him.
Oh, Sid, it's good to get a hold of you right away. My name's Mike Johnson, and I was wondering if I could give you one word to have you be interested in talking to me for about 10 minutes.
Hurry up. What?
All right. Leads.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, do you have all the leads that you could handle every day?
We can always use more business. Tell me exactly what you have.
Well, Sid, let me ask you this: what What kind of business are you in?
I'm a roofer.
Okay. So if you're a roofer, that means that if you put on somebody's roof, how much is that worth to you?
Well, it just depends. We're selling some for, you know, 4 or 5,000. Some are 10,000. We did one the other day that was 80,000.
Good for you.
178 squares.
Boy, I'd like to have that house one of these days.
It was actually a child care.
Oh, okay. So if you could get that much money from one roof, how much do you think a lead is worth?
I don't know. I'm paying $50 with Home Advisor, but their leads aren't that good, and I really don't like having to deal with them.
Yeah, how many of those are you closing?
We close about 20%.
Okay. But yeah, so for every $500 you spend, you're closing 2, right?
Correct.
Okay, what if I could be sending you like 5 or 6 a day?
Okay. So I would close a roof every other day?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me
Would you have to
about
hire
your
more
leads.
people?
Tell me about your leads. How do they do? You send them over to me like a name?
Well, what it is I put ads all over the internet, and I have a number that I give them that rings your phone. It tells you right in advance that the call is from this lead source, and then when you talk to them, we can give you a report even about how many you talk to every day.
Okay. So how many people are you sharing this lead with?
Depends. I can say I can give them to you exclusively if you want.
Okay. Tell me what the price is.
Let's say it's $45 a lead.
I wouldn't say that, but okay. So you should say $45.
What would you say?
Okay.
What would you say, Sid?
I would say I would just say $45. And then okay, so is that for the exclusive or the shared?
That's for exclusive.
Ah, that's too much money.
Well, then just keep using Home Advisor.
Hang on, wait. You don't remember when the argument lose the deal? You can't say that. Anytime if somebody makes a decision, if somebody makes a point to say that that's too much money, go, well, how much is it too much money? You want to answer questions with questions because you're boxing them in to close them. That's where the term "close" came from, was to box them in where they have no other ways out.
Okay, well, how much do you think that'd be worth to you?
I don't know. I mean, we're looking to pay $15, $20 a lead. I want some of those $15 leads.
How about? Well, I think that if you're selling roofs for that much, you could probably afford a little bit more per lead, like maybe 25.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, all right, I'll do business with you. All right, good job.
Okay, but for $25, I'm going to put you on a party line.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. If somebody starts beating up on you on pricing, you did a good job there where you said, you know, you do have shared leads, some are not. So then you start taking away services instead of talking about money. There's no reason to ever negotiate money when you can start taking away services. No problem. You don't want the $45 lead, you get the shared lead. They're 25, right? And then he's making the choice to get a less popular product to do it. Another thing you can do is a bogey. We do bogeys all the time, right? And any kind of close. Hey, listen, how about this? You want to spend $25 a lead? I'm going to give you the first 10 leads for $25. When you close 2 roofs out of that, I want you to, I want you to go to the regular $40 pricing. We go to full bill. Right?
Okay, I like that.
You did a great job, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
you did a good job.
It's more nerve-wracking doing that in front of, 100 people, so great job.
I just looked at the camera.
And now it's Kelly's turn.
Awesome. All right. Let me, Mike, thank you so much for jumping on, man.
Well, thank you, Sid.
See you, buddy. All right, Kelly. Hang on, I'll just I was trying to type in questions real quick, but Michelle Genevieve said, hey, I don't want to scare off clients. What do you think about month-to-month agreements? I've done month-to-month with everything I've ever sold. Just because if somebody's going to cancel with you, nobody really stays with you because of an agreement. Maybe if you negotiate your pricing, maybe you throw that in. Listen, I'm month-to-month, but if you want $25 leads, you got to commit to 6 months. Use that as a negotiating tool to not come off price without getting something in your favor, right? But everything I've ever sold, I've never really done termed contracts, just because in the car industry, it don't matter anyway. They're not only are they going to fire you, they'll fire you and go get an attorney that they'll pay twice as much as they're paying you just to prove themselves. You know what I mean? So we never really did all that stuff. So, all right. So now we've got Kelly. Awesome. All right, Kelly, let me find you here. Scrolling through the names. Hold on. Kelly. All right, here we go. Kelly, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. All right. I was going to, I'm going to give it to you if that's okay.
Hey, that's totally fine. I ain't scared. You ready? Kelly, what business are you in?
I'm gonna do roofers. I'm doing roofers.
Okay.
I'm concentrating on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like roofers.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right. Hi. Can I speak to John, please?
This is him.
Hey, John. This is Kelly Rochelle. And the reason I'm giving you a call today is because I've got a way to get everyone in your business a raise, and I'm going to tell you about it.
Nice. What are you going to do?
Well, let me, just to be sure, let me just get to know you just a little bit better to be sure that this is a fit for you, okay? So how many roofs do you sell on average per month right now?
We're doing 8 to 10 roofs.
Per month, okay. And are you selling all the roofs that you want?
No, I could always use more business. You got salespeople for me?
Actually, no, but let me just ask you, how many roofs are you looking to sell a month right now?
Well, any additional roofs would be better. So, I've got 3 sales guys. I think we can sell more business.
Okay. So when you say more, just to be a little bit more specific, what would be your ultimate, like if I know you've probably made some goals for 2014. What are you
If we
looking
can
to do?
hit 20 roofs a month, if I can do 240 a year, I'm excited.
Okay, so 20 would be great for you. Okay, that sounds great. Because I'm actually going to be able to bring you opportunity to do that. And just hold on, I'm going to talk about it. Let me ask you too now, a roof, how much is it worth to you?
The average roof, we're netting about $1,800 right now. We used to net $2,800, but it seems like they're getting a little bit more stressful on us.
Why do you think that is?
Insurance companies, the people that are calling now, there hasn't been a hailstorm in 2 years, so a lot of the people that are calling now already been hit by every salesman under the sun. So it's just getting harder to get business.
Got it. And what would you say then would be your average close ratio? If you got 5 qualified leads, do you think you can close one of them?
They better close at least one. I've got pretty good salespeople.
You do? Okay, great. So then if I were to bring you, say, 3 more leads a day, would that help you to get your 20 roofs per month that you want to get?
Well, 3 leads a day, how much is that going to cost me?
All right. Well, that's the good part. Right now, I noticed that you're using Google AdWords, and what we've got for you is a way to we're separate ourselves in 2 ways. Not to say that you shouldn't still use your Google AdWords, but what separates us from the competition is instead of driving clicks to your website, we actually deliver live calls directly to your business phone.
Okay.
And even more attractive than that is we can generate high-quality targeted phone calls to you, not just leads. And you're only going to pay for the calls that come in about roofing and not telemarketing calls. And it's only going to be qualified a lead if it lasts at least 35 seconds.
Okay.
And so, you know what the best part is? We're going to remove all the risk from you so that In fact, I'm only going to be charging you for leads after the fact. So that means that you're going to be able to receive the leads, generate income, get deposits, and pay us a really very small percentage of the revenue that you receive from our leads. I see that as a win-win. How about you?
Now, is it exclusive to me? These are exclusive leads.
These leads are made exclusively for your roofing business, just for you.
So you're not selling them to other roofers?
No, absolutely not. These are going to be exclusive to you only, so you're not going to be sharing them, and you're not going to just be getting names. You're going to get people who are actually going to pick up the phone and dial your business.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what your investment is going to be then to do this is there's a one-time $97 setup fee, $35 per lead, and you're going to be billed on a weekly basis. So there's no long-term contract, so that if you find out that you're not interested or it's not working for you for whatever reason, you're not working.
Okay.
You want to get started?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Kelly, you did an excellent job. Listen, saying investment, awesome. You've been practicing. Yeah. I know you've been practicing. That's a good job. Now, getting on a call like this in front of a bunch of people, I know for a fact is not easy. Okay. When I worked for Southeast Toyota, they took a camera and filmed this on how we would present, and you'll be surprised what you sound like when you watch yourself on camera, right? So you did an excellent job. I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much for being brave, Mike.
Thank you.
You're an animal. Thank you so much for getting on here too. I'm really impressed. I love people that are willing to lay it out there. You will be successful, I promise, Kelly. If you ever need me, hit me up, okay? I owe you for being brave. Thank you, Kelly.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, I know it was Dr. Schaefer said he was ready to do role play.
I know Keith. Yep. Keith came through Atlanta and we ate dinner, so. Are you making him go live or you want me to? Oh, we might have lost her. Here we go. All right, Dr. Keith. What's happening, buddy? Dr. Keith.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose him?
I think he might have a problem with his phone connection.
Yeah. I want Car Guy Danny to get on here.
I think I heard something.
That was me, my echo. We'll try to get in a minute. Anybody else want to try it? Norm, you want to jump on? I know you're a closer. You closed a inventory syndication deal, so let's try it. Anybody want to jump on? All right. It's not as easy as it sounds, is it? All right, that's okay. So just talking kind of raw sales, which is going to help you in any industry, but to keep you focused on this, because this is an opportunity to make money now, and people are already doing it, right? Always remember, win the argument, lose the deal, value over price equals sell. If you'll remember that every time, you'll find yourself closing more deals. And what's the last thing you tell yourself before you talk to somebody? Anytime two people meet, a sale is made. Whenever you're telling your spouse you want to go on a, take your Harley on a ride with a bunch of your buddies, you're selling her, buddy. When you meet your girlfriend's parents, you sold them. You know what I mean? Every time two people meet, a sale's made. So if you say you're not a salesman, bullcrap. You're a salesman. I promise you're a salesman. Okay? So always remind yourself of those three key terms. I keep that in my head and tell myself in that my mind anytime I sell anything. It's a great thing to remember. Why? Because we have egos. We have pride. Somebody challenges you. You want to be able to sometimes you want to tell them off, right? You want to call them out. So you're going to win the argument and you're going to lose the deal. So Holly Cooper says, how do you feel about seasonal leads, Sid? Like snow removal and then try and get them for landscaping at the same time for next summer. Now, I think seasonal leads are awesome, because they need quick response media like this. They need quick response lead generation. So I think it works real well. And you know, where up there y'all shovel snow and do landscaping, down here, you know, we have HVAC that does, you know, air conditioning in the summer, heating in the winter. So it's very similar. So I think it's awesome. You know, with a product like Local Lead Driver, I wouldn't be talking myself out of much business. But it does seem that the contracting world tends to get a little better response with using posting ads on Craigslist or Kijiji or any of those type of services. Okay. All right, Val, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, I keep waiting for that hotspot to click out. We're right at an hour, 60 minutes. Want to be respectful of your time. Real quick, does anybody have any other questions? Hopefully we did a good question. Let us know if this answered and helped you out a lot. If you have any suggestions or anything that you want us to talk about on the next call, put some suggestions in the group, and we can do it. In fact, I mean, those of you that like to hear the role play, I know it's really valuable to most, and want to role play, we'll set up more role playing calls. If you notice, for being in the master class, I know we said it was 4 calls. You obviously saw that we scheduled many more calls. We never were ones to give you what you paid for. We always try and over deliver. Okay, and those calls are going to be set up. We'll do tons of role play on there. If I'm on the call, we'll stay at the end of the calls and do role play for everybody. Okay.
And
James,
so this last comment that came through is probably something good for us to keep in mind, like how to create your ad. That might be a good call too.
Yeah, well, and that's what Nick that's what Nick talks about. So
We can get him on a call.
I'm telling you, I firsthand 100% know and tell you as a customer, you know, using Nick to post the service, you know, my services, I got way better results. I had another guy that I tried out, 2 other guys I tried out. It was miserable. The guy was just whatever. So anyways, rock and roll. Val, thank you so much for spending an hour with me, and everybody else, good night. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.